Finally, as my blood began to boil, I said, "So your Highness is not satisfied with my service?" "What? Are you threatening me?" "You cretin. There is the door. I don't want to have anything to do with such miserable scum anymore." At last I said, "And I don't want to have anything to do with you anymore either."
These letters from Wolfgang are completely wild. You cannot accuse the Archbishop with all sorts of insults and abandon our private code. It's his intention. He knows the Archbishop's spies open all the letters. Even now they're rubbing their hands, gloating at his downfall. He has thrown away his only paid employment and willfully endangered my position.
Mozart came with his letter of resignation. I refused to accept it. It was his duty to get his father's consent before such an action. He then rounded on me and my steward, the good Count Arco, shouting that he knew his duty to his father better than we did, and that he would be very sorry if he had to learn it from us first. So Arco got him by the neck and kicked him well and truly up his backside out of my office.
"You say that I have never shown you any affection and therefore ought now to show it for the first time. You add that I will never sacrifice any of my pleasures for your sake. To please you, I would sacrifice my happiness, my health and my life, but my honour, that I prize above everything."
We had constant rumours about Wolfeld's behaviour in Vienna. Drinking, womanizing, creating all kinds of scandal. My father was quite tortured by it. Me, I just thought, yet again little brother inventing the rules for himself. If only I had gone to Vienna, I would have calmed him down, helped him to live a more ordered life. I wanted to be with him. But father still needed me in Salzburg, and he never requested to visit. He was too proud for that. But I knew what was going on in his heart.
On the question of Colorado, it was unthinking, disrespectful to me. That's all I have to say.
This was a decisive moment for Mozart. Free from Colorado, he was free from his father. At last he had the chance to unleash his almost obscene powers of creativity in the most exciting city on earth. Vienna in 1781 was a bit like Berlin in the 1920s. It was the place where musicians and artists of every hue were flocking. Also there was a new emperor, Joseph II, who called for freedom of speech, an end to censorship, and was busy building a whole new social landscape where anyone, regardless of background or breeding, could become someone.
Mozart now threw off the trappings of his provincial past. He developed a taste for the latest fashions, smoking, billiard playing, and spending beyond one's means.
I now have a beautiful red coat. I was so captivated by its splendour that I did not take note of its price. It would do justice to certain buttons which I've long been hankering after. Mother of pearl with a few white stones around the edge. Why is it, I wonder, that those who cannot afford it would like to spend a fortune on such articles, and those who can pay do not do so?
Renting rooms from the mother of Aloysia Weber, he hadn't far to travel for extracurricular entertainment. But it wasn't the recently married Aloysia who took his fancy, but her younger sister, Constanza.
Dearest father, you remember Aloysia? Well, the middle Weber daughter, dear Constanza, is the martyr of the family. She is the cleverest and, in short, she's not ugly. But not really beautiful. She has no great wit, but enough common sense that I love her, and she loves me with all her heart.
Signed, I suppose, your Apollo of a son.
Treachery! This is how I react to treachery! Betrayal! My own flesh and blood! How could he agree to such an arrangement? To marry this girl within 3 years or pay her money for the rest of his life?
Papa kept the archive, all Wolfel's former work, and would only release copies one at a time if he asked. It was right that he administer such control.
It's true that my mother and guardian drew up such a document, but I was shocked to see such preconditions. I called Wolfgang to me and asked directly whether he loved me. He said yes, he did. And so I immediately ripped the document in two.
If I had my way, she would go down in history as the woman who corrupted my son. Broke up my family. And my dearest Nunnerl, who stayed ever by my side, she shall have whatever riches I leave behind.
My brother wrote to me protesting as to how there can be such monsters in the shape of my father, and that he would write to him and call him worse than the devil, and that he would marry Constanza Weber with or without our papa's consent, which he did, and my father and I, no, we never forgave him.